The Ideal Board Shop opened a week before Thanksgiving of 2018. The Ideal stands for Isabel, Darren, Evelyn, Avery, and Laura, and the board, obviously, for our cutting boards. We sell cutting surfaces, cutting boards, small kitchen islands, and a few larger kitchen islands. Out of the actual woodworking shop, we do cabinets and custom built-ins, anything that can be used inside the home. I make, I think I make 4 different types. One is an end grain cutting board, which is typically used day by day. I mean, it can be used every day. It will last for years, if not a lifetime, if properly cared for. There are flat grain cutting boards, which are more for display, not as much use. They can be used as much, but they're not going to last as long as a regular end grain cutting board. Edge grain cutting boards, which we typically use for utility work, cutting a lot. It's heavy, typically stationary. And then I have a veneer display board, which I actually make a shop-made veneer, and it's more ornamental than anything else. First, typically I have to select the wood, and usually then it requires me to plane the rough sawn lumber down. And once I get it flat and straight, then I typically do a segmented cutting board, so there's more than one piece to it. So I slice the boards into another board, which I would call a blank, and then from a blank, I then decide whether I'm going to turn it into an end grain cutting board or a segmented display board. Sometimes I plan ahead, and sometimes I figure that out as I'm going along with each individual blank. So then once I've made the blank, then for an end grain cutting board, I would slice it into smaller pieces and then alternate the individual pieces back and forth into a design.
I think the Ideal board is unique because we make all the products here from start to finish, getting the wood and all the way to the finish. And Darren creates all the designs, so every piece is unique.
A lot of it has to do with the amount of effort that he puts into the boards. You can see that a lot of them have a lot of inlays and just sort of like detail added into them that other shops really don't have. The effort that he puts into the boards is what differs from any other place that I've been to. Well, he has a lot of kinetic art. He doesn't like to call it art usually because he thinks of it more as woodworking than art. But he likes to put a lot of movement into what he makes. You can see in some of the boards how they have like curves, and he follows the grain of the wood. But the mobiles are really special because I don't think I've ever seen anything like them.
So the Ideal Board's products, the quality is perfect. They're a piece of art, so it's hard to compare it to something else because there's no standard. It's just, does the product hold together? Yes. Is it visually pleasing? Absolutely. Is it creative? Certainly. So I think the quality, the aesthetics, and the utility as well of many of the, particularly the boards, is first rate.
I like the fact it's made by a real artist with a lot of care to detail and a beautiful sense of aesthetics. I've seen Darren's work for a number of years, and it's evolved, and it's always, he's a perfectionist, I would call him. It's always done to high quality. It's very clean, it's aesthetically well laid out, and Darren is very quietly welcoming when he comes in. He makes it warm. When he shows up in the room, it's nice to be with him.
I think we're definitely part of the community. We know people. When you have a big corporation, you don't necessarily know a lot of the people, and being able to help in the community, people looking for donations, and you're invested in the community and the people.
I think it's kind of like a community-based thing. We all want to buy something that is handmade, and often we find ourselves going on Amazon, which has its place. I shop on Amazon, but getting to actually experience a shop owner, what he is going through or she is going through, and see what they're making. That's fun.